Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry for starting a little late. You know, that's how I do it around here. But I have a very special guest today, Mr. David Bond. Welcome, my guy.
What's up? Good to be here. And are we live on YouTube too?
Yes, we are now live on YouTube.
We
So
are.
we just were like talking for like 3 minutes, and I was just like, actually, we're not live. So.
Okay, awesome.
Anyway, so yeah, feel free to introduce yourself. I'm sure a lot of people in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash don't actually know who you are quite yet. They might have started to see your name around. But yeah, feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is David Bond. I have a YouTube channel, a lot of traveling, a lot of pretty girls, and occasionally I'll give my opinion on life, the universe, and everything in it. And my interest in Bitcoin is very, very recent. It's basically less than 6 months ago is when I took any interest in it. And basically, I thought Bitcoin was super cringe and super dumb, and all the people who talked to me about it, they couldn't answer the most rudimentary questions, such as, okay, so I buy this thing, and what can I do with it? What can I spend with it? What problem does it solve? And no one knew. They basically just treated it as gambling,
Mm-hmm.
but it was gambling, but they would make it sound like they're smart. They're like, no, man, it's the blockchain, it's cryptography, dude. It's like, okay, cool. So
It's a
tell
new
me,
paradigm.
if I have $100 in Bitcoin and my bank account gets shut off, how do I eat? And they're like, you don't actually do anything with it. You just like sell it to someone else. And I'm like, you guys. Anyway, I thought that's what it was until I got banned from PayPal, and this happened in a really, really inconvenient time because it was basically when my business was doing the best it's ever done. I was making like up to $15,000 a month through PayPal through subscriptions and all my digital products. And keep in mind, that's with the previous year making like $1,000 a week. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it was really like I was on this high, and all of a sudden I wake up one morning and it says your account is limited, and my funds were frozen for 6 months. And basically, I went from making that a month to nothing. And during this time, I thought, oh, this is a simple problem. I'll just call them. But I just got a bunch of robots, and it was a big disaster. During this time, one of my friends said, "Well, dude, you should be accepting Bitcoin." And I was like, "Okay, okay, but how do I know I'm not going to get banned from Bitcoin? How do I know the Bitcoin people aren't going to ban me?" And then,
Those damn Bitcoin guys. Yeah.
yeah, and he's like, "No, you don't get banned from Bitcoin." I'm like, What do you mean? Like, and then he started to explain it, and it started to open me up a little bit. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Now, in this moment, I was so traumatized by the what had happened that I was a little bit more open-minded to this idea. And um, I at the time I was really interested in alternative tech, like mines and BitChute and all these alternatives, and one of them was Gab, which is a like a Twitter clone.
Mm-hmm.
And Gab got banned from PayPal too. Gab got banned actually from everything,
Yeah.
every single thing. They started accepting Bitcoin, and I was like, okay, Gab is way worse than me. So I bought some, and then I used it, and I was like, that's kind of interesting. And just as an experiment, I said I put QR codes on my digital products. It was so ghetto. I didn't even have a gateway or nothing. It was just like a JPEG of a QR code. I said, hey, by the way, if you send me this amount of money, I'll give you access to this program at a discount. And then people started doing it. And I was like, what the hell? And I'm like waking up, and I'm like looking at my little Bitcoin deposits. And so then, of course, the first thing I want to know is, all right, so now what can I do? And so I search how to spend Bitcoin, what can I buy? And then when I found about Purse.io, the little Amazon thing,
Mm-hmm.
that was it. That
Yep.
totally, the discovery of that, because when I discovered it, I bought myself some Starbucks coffee just as a test, and it worked. And I was like, oh my God, Bitcoin is money. Because if I can buy it on Amazon, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Amazon is I mean, that is, if you
I mean,
can
that's
spend money on
everything.
Amazon, yeah, if you can spend money on Amazon, that's the equivalent of saying you can spend money anywhere
Right.
or anything.
Right. You
And
can get
so
your damn groceries off Amazon.
yeah, and so I took interest in it, and this was 6 months ago or whatever. And what's
So
funny is I bought my first $50 when Bitcoin was 13,000,
nice.
and I didn't even know price. I didn't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I only bought it to spend it on something specific, so I immediately got rid of it. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the backstory, I guess. So
Spend it in place. Yeah, no, that's a good backstory. I mean, a lot of people that are in Bitcoin for like ideological purposes have stories like that, right? By the way, thanks Tao for that donation. I don't know if you just saw that on my screen, David, but I do tipbitcoin.cash, where
oh, cool.
people can send me Bitcoin like live as I'm streaming, and a message will show up on my screen. So it's very cool. Sometimes I have trolls that come in and they like send me money to send me messages. It gets pretty ridiculous. So like, thanks guys, because I like ban them from the chats, so they have to send me money to talk to me.
Oh, wow. And it shows on your stream too.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. So it's pretty great. But yeah. So a lot of people, you might be wondering, well, why, David? Why do you get banned from all these? Why do you get banned from all these places? Well, here's his YouTube. This is sort of by most popular. Like you said, lots of women and traveling. So.
Oh, and this is nothing. I have probably 100 videos that are set to private. I mean, mostly because it was pushing it too hard and it was way too edgy. And with the most recent YouTube stuff, it's like, yikes! I gotta really get careful. So what you see is not even.
So yeah, I mean, this is your. I think it's your ex. I don't know. I did some. But anyways, it's just like.
She's a girl I date.
Yeah.
Simple.
It's cool. That's all I need to know. But anyways, it's just beautiful women in beautiful spots, and so what you sell is like kind of like so there's your little signature thing with your GoPro. So what you sell is kind of like a self-help book for guys. I saw some. I think I was watching one of your videos and it was saying how you can like run an ad on Instagram or something, and then
yeah. Well, let me talk about what I sell. So I had 4 products. One of them is the Japan guide, a single man's guide to Japan. Another one is a single man's guide to Thailand. Another one is the My Travel Toolkit.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 2 are very simple. If you're interested in traveling these places and you want to know how to get a cheap apartment month to month, SIM cards, how to avoid scams, how to avoid, like lady boys, or where are the best places to meet girls,
or how to find them.
Yeah, how to find them. It's basically like if you just got off the plane and you were going to spend the next 2 months in one of these places, what are the most typical questions a guy asks? And my course, it's not an ebook, it's a video course.
Okay.
It covers everything. I have in my Thailand guide, I have like, the top 20 cheapest month-to-month furnished apartments with good internet that I've lived in, with their contact information and the GPS location.
Nice.
The best clubs, worst clubs, how to know if you're, scam avoidance, prostitute avoidance, things like that. For the Japan guide covered language barriers, cultural differences, and My Travel Toolkit is a like digital nomad course. So I talk about, how to avoid ATM fees. I talk about if you want to travel one way, flights. So a lot of countries require you show proof of exit. Well, there's actually a way to get around that. There's a lot of little small nomad tips, I guess, and so I package that into a program.
Yeah. Yeah. Feel free to keep going.
Oh, and so the next one's called the digital pickup, the whole running fake Instagram ads. That's a course I haven't really talked about publicly too much yet, but what makes it special is it's going to be, my next program is going to be crypto only. So if you want to buy it, you have to have crypto. And this is going to be an experiment. I'm going to lose money on it, but I'm going to use this opportunity to really push Bitcoin, pretty much. So what Bitcoin is giving me is absolute creative freedom, and I can get rid of all the fear of getting in trouble with Stripe or PayPal or all that stuff, because with those sites, or with the traditional legacy financial gateways, I mean, my God, you got to be so politically correct. You have to be you have to obey a lot of rules, and I'm happy to obey the rules, but I also would like my relationship between me and my audience to be between us and not some fucking fag in PayPal sitting in San Francisco sucking a vegan latte, watching Bernie Sanders Instagram, and then telling me what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the next program is going to be crypto only. If you insist on paying with regular money, I'm just going to price gouge you, basically. And in anticipation for this, I thought, if I'm going to do this, I want to get really interested in this Bitcoin stuff. And so I started taking the rabbit hole down, the whole. Now I'm really interested in it, and I'm learning about the politics.
Yeah, the rabbit hole never stops.
Believe it.
You're kind of like in the middle of a rabbit hole right now.
I just joined the party, and I'm like, why are those guys not friends with those guys? That's weird. Why is he that way? Who is that? It's like, it's funny.
Yeah. A couple questions in the chat. Have you met Vin Armani before? You know who that is?
Vin Armani.
Yeah, I guess not. But he's in Bitcoin Cash. He's a developer. His background is he was actually on the reality show Gigolos. Like he was like a male prostitute. But he's super.
Oh, really?
He's a super cool guy. He's been on my show twice now. Yeah, I just got that question because.
No.
Yeah, you're both cool guys. I guess is why. Because there's a lot of nerds in crypto. And somebody else said, "Why don't you clean your room?"
Why don't I clean my room? Well, I have a maid that comes occasionally, so if she's gonna do it, I don't need to do it. Is it really that messy though? Let me take a look. Let me see how it looks on the camera.
It's not that bad. Just stuff on the bed.
Well, no, but I just had someone leave, so.
Oh, gotcha.
Things got crazy.
So yeah, as far as like, so you're coming into Bitcoin, you see all this shit going down. You had this article that I actually so Vin was the guy I actually talked to about your article that I sent you. That was Vin.
Oh, that guy, the black guy that debated.
He's definitely white, but bald.
What? No, when you talked about my article, it was you and some.
It definitely was
white.
I haven't had any black guys on the show, I think.
Who was that guy?
Yeah, that's Vin.
Wasn't he on Hotep Jesus?
Yes, he was on Hotep Jesus. Yes.
That guy is black. What the hell are you talking about? Really?
What?
Hold on. I'm going to lose my mind. Hotep. How the hell did you spell that? Hotep Jesus. Anyway, keep talking.
This is funny. So this is like the first I've seen of. This is like the first I've seen of you was this video right here. I reposted it to Twitter.
Okay. See? Oh, I see. Haha. Yeah. What?
Why you do that to me? I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I remember that. I posted. Where did I post that? And then
it was in like a Telegram, and I was like, "Yo, let me repost this." So.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Why you do this to me?
Yeah, so I got those stickers from. I got those stickers from some girl in Thailand who runs the meetups here.
Thailand, is that Emily?
JJ.
Oh, Jaja.
Like
Yeah,
that.
That's Jaja. Yep.
And yeah, so she sent me a box of stickers. So I had way too many, and I ended up just bringing them everywhere and sticking them places. And I mean,
wait, Kelso, he's a CoinSpice, writes for CoinSpice. He says Vin Armani is black and white. He went to a historically black college. What? All these things I didn't know about.
I mean, I gotta see the picture because I remember Hotep Jesus had this dude on who looked kind of black and he was really smart. And I remember you and him were talking about my article together.
Wait, this dude, no way.
Dude, you're on drugs. Okay, yeah, you got the pictures? Let's see.
Yeah.
Come on, are you kidding me? Look at this guy.
Okay.
He's so well. He's obviously not European. Clearly, like European lineage. Man.
Okay, so then you have this one. You need to blow it up. He's definitely black in this one, so I guess I could see it.
Is it? This is like
wow,
the Yanni. Yeah, come on,
is that even? That's not even him, dude.
I don't know. Yeah, that guy's cool. His little debate with the BTC guy was on Hotep Jesus. That was hard to watch, man. I felt bad for the BTC guy because it was so obvious.
Yeah.
That I feel like with debate, it's a lot of times just who's more charismatic and who's thought about it more, and less about who's right.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I mean, when you watch two people talking and it's your first impression, you're like, damn, Bitcoin and Cash. Whew.
Yeah, so you come in to the space. I'm guessing you originally got into like BTC, and then you did post this video, which I'll show right now as well, where it says,
Yo guys, so one of my favorite things is supporting small YouTubers, especially when they accept Bitcoin as donation. This guy made this super funny rap song about Bitcoin. Unfortunately, he bashed Bitcoin Cash, which I thought was a little strange, but I still wanted to give him some support, and I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to give a small donation using Bitcoin Core. Now, I would much rather do Bitcoin Cash because of the fees and the transaction and all that stuff, but you know, I'm still gonna give him some support. And I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to give a small donation in you know, I already have my fee set to pretty. You know, another way of showing support is actually just clicking a like. If he accepted Bitcoin Cash, you know.
This is the real story, by the way.
I don't know.
"Oh,
Anyway,
no, that it happens."
never
Like,
mind.
You know,
Yo,
like
guys.
when anytime that people make cool stuff, I love to give them donations and stuff.
Mhm.
And I really did try to do what I just tried to do on the video. Now, that wallet that I had,
yeah, it's Bitcoin.
this was the the Bitcoin.com wallet. Apparently, I had a lot of dust, which I had no idea what that was.
yeah.
I still don't know what it means, but I had a lot of dust, whatever the fuck that means.
It basically
so
means-
every time I was
yeah.
trying to send money, it was like a lot of
Yeah.
fee.
Yeah.
And the old Bitcoin Cash or the old Bitcoin.com wallet, the lowest fee you could set was 20 satoshis per byte, which that I didn't even know.
Mhm.
So I had a lot of dust, and my satoshis per byte were 20, but which accounted for the dollar
Yeah.
being the dollar fee. So I'm sure if I did that with a different wallet or something, I don't know. But this really happened. I was like, oh, this was cool, and I like tried to donate to him, and I sat there. I'm like, man, like, do I really want to? And then I said I'm not going to do it. And I just thought it was so ironic how the video had this little Bitcoin Cash
Oh,
is a
they
bad
got
thing.
they gotta bash it. It's part.
And I want to give you money. Like, I'm trying to give it to you, and then I have Bitcoin Cash. I have Bitcoin, and you don't give me the option. Well, you take away your option to accept it because you think it's dumb. And what are the consequences? That I don't give you anything.
Right.
It's just so cringe and so stupid. For me, look, if I sell something, my mindset is very simple. I will accept anything that's valuable as payment. Okay. If some guy met me up in America, right, and was like, "Hey, Dave, here's some yen," I'm gonna accept it.
Mhm.
You know why? Because I know that yen has value, and I know that at least I could go to a bank and exchange it if I really wanted to. But I would never say, you know what, dude, you're yen. That's a scam, bro. And you're like, well, I really like you. Here's my money. Can you take my money? No. It's like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Especially, it's like, if you think Bitcoin Cash is bad, then why don't you take their money? Wouldn't that be smart too?
Right, and then sell it. Right. So
Yeah, it's
whatever
like-
currency you want. Yeah.
And so the irony was just so funny. Here I am wanting to give this guy money, and the very problem that Bitcoin Cash was set to solve has prevented me from doing. It's like the irony was just too good. I had to film it. I'm like, this is funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So like going back. So yeah, you had a lot of dust, which is basically means like a tiny amount of coins, and like how Bitcoin works. It's called the UTXO base, where you basically have like a bunch of small coins, and then if you want to say that each of them is like $1, and you want to spend $10, you have to like combine 10 different ones. So the more different coins you have to combine, the more it's going to cost you because the transaction's bigger. Is long story short. Yes, Bitcoin.com does raise the fees on BTC on purpose, but like that's kind of a debate. Like, but you want to get it in the next block faster. Anyways, it's like I'm trying to like
the new wallet lets you go down to 1 satoshi per byte.
Oh, does it? That's probably a good
Yeah,
idea,
yeah.
so people don't complain. But yes, even then you might be, if you like don't know about it and you're like, oh, I want to do the lowest fee, and then you like try to send it and it's still not confirmed in a block because the fee is so low, it's a poor user experience, and you're just like waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. So it's
Yeah.
like, what is the proper user experience? Low fees or fast confirmations? You know?
I think just give the user the option and just
Right.
like educate them on what exactly is happening.
Right. So like the thing is though, that shouldn't even be a problem, right? Is like that shouldn't even be a problem, and so that's why we have Bitcoin Cash. And so you have this article that I'm gonna keep referencing, but you say stop saying bad things about PTC. This is what the Bitcoin Cash community looks like to a newbie. Your honest feedback, and basically when you say that, people just hear all Bitcoin is bad. So if I'm going to onboard somebody to Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash,
you want me to elaborate on what?
Yes. Feel free. Go ahead.
So I'm not saying that. I think when you're talking amongst each other, it's okay to say anything you want. But I feel like in the context of here, hold on, let me close my Telegram because people are messaging me. In the context of if someone is arguing about things like block size and all that, you're not helping anybody. You're not growing the community, right? So I always think back to poker because I used to be really into poker, and I used to actually run illegal poker games in an undisclosed location, and we did it every Saturday. And so a big aspect of running a poker game is we want people to attend, right? And so as someone who hosts a poker game, I'm interested in getting new money on the table. I'm interested in getting new human beings to play. So when I think about running a game, I don't think about things like, what shuffling of the card style, like should we run it twice or what's I don't think of the game. I think of the chips and the beer, and I think of the lighting and the music, and how do I get people to come in? Hey man, you got to come to our game, dude. Even if you don't play, we have free drinks and a lot of cool people to come. And then they come, they have a drink. Dude, you want to play, dude? Just if you want, just $10, whatever. And again, the mindset is away from the game and more towards getting new people excited about poker, and then you teach them stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They sit down, and what would be bad if a new player sits down and says, hey, I like king 3 of clubs because I like when they're suited, should I play it? And then go, no, actually, you should. No, the statistics, you're gonna hit a 1 in a straight 3, and you start talking about math, and you start talking about you tell them why they're dumb. Dude, you shouldn't play that hand. Why'd you play that hand? That's stupid. Don't play that hand. That's stupid. You should play like me. I'm smart. That's not going to make newbies want to play. That's not going to make them want to sit down, right? Now, you might be correct. But when I'm teaching someone about poker and they say, I like king 9, it's my favorite. It's my lucky hand because when I was in high school, I had a dog and it was a canine or whatever the reason. You go, dude, that's crazy. That's cool. Dude, play king 9. I think there's some other hands that you should check out too, but you wouldn't want to make them feel bad because you want them to play with you.
Right.
And I think that same thing, I look at the Bitcoin community, and I mean, go into a Telegram, any Telegram, and it's so funny how hostile it gets so quickly from a lot of different sides, So the whole don't talk bad about BTC thing is, I'm not saying don't say things that are true. What I'm saying is, if you're interested in Bitcoin Cash, then talk about why Bitcoin Cash is really cool. Talk about tools that you made or solutions to problems. Talk about why it's good. Don't talk about why something that isn't Bitcoin Cash is bad. Especially given the fact that most people's introduction to crypto is Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like here's a really small example. There's this business owner that owns a Mexican restaurant that we have the Bitcoin meetups every Monday. Every single Monday since 2012 in Bangkok, they've been having a meeting there.
Wow.
And when I found out that they don't even pay with crypto at the goddamn meetup, I thought it was funny. And it's been about 2 months of me trying to talk the people into it, and no one does it. So everyone's like, oh yeah, we'll talk to the owner sometime about it. And I'm like, well, when? And so last week I said, you know what, I'm just gonna fucking do it. I've gone to enough meetups. I'm not a new guy anymore. I don't need to wait for the OGs to do it. So I just fucking kicked down the door and I was like, yo, where's the owner? and they're like, oh, here's his number, and I just called him. Hey, my name's David. I go to these meetups. Are you interested in accepting crypto? Da da da. And he goes, yeah, actually, I really have been wanting to do that. I just don't know how. I'm like, are you serious? Like, no one's helped this guy.
Yeah.
So I met up with the guy. Okay.
Mhm.
Sat him down, and I showed him AnyPay, and I showed him the Bitcoin Cash Register app, and I talked about the differences. I talked about what this problem solves, how there's a really cool opportunity to take these people's money. Man, what is up with this lighting in here? It's like the ghost is like pushing my
curtains going crazy.
So this is where the crossroads hits. Is he goes, well, I want to accept Bitcoin, the big one, because I explained that Dash and Bitcoin Cash and this and that, and how it's probably better to accept more than one. And he goes, well, I want to accept Bitcoin because that's what I know. Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't talk about fees. I didn't talk about speed. I didn't talk about anything. I just said, well, I can totally set you up with Bitcoin, and I'm going to do that for you. And I did, and I demoed it for him. I did show him Bitcoin Cash. I did say, one cool thing about Bitcoin Cash is it is a little quicker. The fees are a little lower, and there's actually a Bitcoin Cash meetup here in Bangkok. And if you accepted it, they might actually have a meetup here.
Mhm.
Now, I didn't talk about BTC being bad. I just talked about why Bitcoin Cash is good.
Mhm.
If I started getting into all the technical details, like, okay, so no, the thing is, it's like, dude, you should be lucky that the guy's even listening to you at all, and it should be positive and good. And the truth is, let's say he starts accepting BTC, and let's say things go crazy again, like 2017, then he might start to naturally just see the value in accepting Bitcoin Cash, right?
Mhm.
So it's like I treat it like a poker game. I wouldn't, if someone walked in my poker game and started talking about, I would not argue about why it's stupid to chase an open-ended straight draw on the turn because you only have one card to come, and it's like if you do the math, because that is negative and it's scary, and he's not gonna. It's like it's not good marketing.
Yeah.
Basically.
Right.
That's ultimately what I mean.
Right.
I'm not saying don't say things that are not true. I'm saying when you argue about these topics, you're arguing inside of a bubble,
Mhm.
and that doesn't make people go in it.
Right.
And so it's like, what are your goals? Are your goals to prove some retard wrong on Twitter?
Yeah.
Or is your yeah exactly, or is your goal to get the 3 bars down the street to start accepting Bitcoin so you can waste your money? That's my goal. Like, I want to be able to buy like 3 ladyboys with BitConnect, like that's the goal.
Yeah, that'd be a good measure of adoption for sure.
But I don't know. That's what I meant in that little.
No, that's perfect. I mean, yeah, I think it's like we still have like PTSD from the whole like debate, because like the debate like before the split was important, and I mean shit happened. I'm sure you know a general overview of what happened, but yeah, it's like 2 years later. It's like, all right, guys, time to get over it. But so yeah, like where do you see the role of like the education about BTC and BCH like coming in? Is it just like YouTube videos that like the difference between BTC and BCH, and just like letting people find that themselves? Or
So I'll tell you this. I didn't start caring about Bitcoin Cash until I tried to move $1,000 from that wallet that had dust in it.
Mhm.
I had a bunch of dust, and it was because I was playing with wallets, and I started accepting payments. So all of a sudden, I got fucking $1,200, and I was like, okay, I want to send this somewhere else. And I set it to the lowest fee, and the lowest amount I was gonna pay was $12, man.
Yep.
And I thought, wow,
This is the future of money.
Am I gonna pay money? I'm happy to pay a fee, but $12 seems kind of weird. And in that moment, that issue became real to me.
Mhm.
Okay? It didn't become real to me by talking to a random guy on the internet.
Yep.
It came real to me when my real money, I'm trying to move my real money from one wallet to the next. I don't need to move it. And I started thinking, holy crap, what if the price goes really high? Won't that mean this price will go high too? Or this fee will go high too?
Yep.
And I just started thinking, and it made me think, and the issue became real. I didn't need to be persuaded. And so I thought, well, what if I put my money in a different coin, is that going to be good? Is that and then I went to Coinbase, which I don't have Coinbase anymore, but Coinbase
Did you
lets you
get
know
kicked off?
that the price values of a lot of coins do kind of go together. So it said that Bitcoin Cash and BTC have about a 90 to 93% like
Correlation.
value correlation.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, shit, that means if I had money in Bitcoin Cash, if BTC goes up, my Bitcoin Cash probably will go up a little bit too. Based on Coinbase's statistics, I'll probably be able to join the party with the price swings as well. And so I just started playing with both. And the point is, this all came from me just playing with it. I didn't have to I didn't have to be. So this is my personally, this is how I feel that if I teach them about Bitcoin, this is what I always say. I go, BTC is the big one. It's expensive and it's slow. And Bitcoin Cash is fast and it's cheap, but it's a little bit less popular.
You're sounding like Roger here, man. You better chill.
And I'll say, but you can switch them. So you can switch them if you want to. And I don't. That's it. That's all I say. And it's like, it depends on what they want to do with it. If people want to use it like money, then using BTC is probably not going to be super awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But not everyone wants to do that. Some people just want to put their money in BTC and just sit on it like it's a
gold stack.
A pile of, yeah, they want to treat it like gold. I mean, okay, treat it like gold, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, crypto arguments are really an argument about goals, intentions, and behaviors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
It really is.
The guy who wants to just buy Bitcoin and sell it later, he doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit about wallets or
no.
I have a friend.
Because when number goes up, man, you'll just have more money to pay the fee, so whatever, right? When you actually want to sell.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend who he's like this big Bitcoin guy. He's always talking about it. And the other day I said, "Hey, dude, have you ever had to import a wallet like using the passphrase and that you lost?" He's like, "No." I go, "What?" And he goes, "It's all in an exchange. I don't have to deal with that." And I was like, "Dude, it's all of it is."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just realized he is different than me. He doesn't care about being doxxed and taxes and the government and all that. I care about that stuff. I want to be private. I want to be a gangster, I want to have control over my money. I don't want people to know. But he doesn't care. So our value systems are different. So conversations are going to be what is good and what is right depends on your goals. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
No, yeah, it makes. I mean, it's the medium of exchange versus store of value whole argument. Basically, the argument goes: BTC core people think that a store of value happens first, so numbers got to go up a lot before we use it as a medium of exchange. And Bitcoin Cash people are the other way. You use it as a medium of exchange that actually gives it the value, and then the store of value comes later. So that's really what the argument goes around. I mean, from a full philosophical perspective, and but from a technical perspective, the whole argument runs around if you should run your own full node, which is too much in the weeds for a normie even at that point. What's a node?
Yeah, you gotta understand. The Winklevoss twins, I remember they said this during the interview, and it was so true. Someone in the audience was like, "Oh, you have an exchange. People don't even have their private keys. It's not real. They don't really control their money." And he goes, "Most people can't even manage an email account.
Yeah.
Your mom forgets her password every single month, and you expect her to write down her 24 words and nodes? Ain't gonna happen, dude.
Mm-hmm.
If you want mass adoption, you have to let people go down the path of like exchanges and making it easy and dumb.
Mhm.
It has to be dumb for most people. Nobody cares about private keys in the real world. It's only the hardcore people that really do.
Mhm.
And I mean, look, I look at my mom. I think every time I go home, the first thing I do is help my mom figure out how to log into her Facebook and email. And she
What
has
a
a
good
journal,
son.
and every time I go, Mom, please write it down. Write it down. Your password is easy. It's password 123 or something. It's always so easy, and it doesn't matter. So if you want mass adoption and if you want people to use this, you got to be able to reach those kind of people. And nodes, lightning, channels,
Yeah.
ain't gonna
No.
work.
Nope.
That stuff is important, but it's not.
Right.
It's not important in the growth. It's important for the tech. You know, it's like, you know, email for a while probably was kind of complicated. Like, oh, Outlook SMTP address,
Mhm.
what port?
Yeah.
But then we just they made it easy for dumb people
Mhm.
like me, and then email became easy again.
Yeah, I think like the
So,
biggest like thing to make like so the goal is to have everybody be their own bank, right? I mean, a lot of people aren't going to be their own bank because they're stupid and whatever, and people lose shit. But I think the best thing to do would be some wallets actually give your backup to like you signing with Google Drive, and it'll like put your backup on Google Drive. So it's like centralized around Google technically, but that's still like a backup, right? So it's things like that that make your backups easy just in case you do lose your phone. But anyways,
and I think that's
yeah,
fine. I
yeah.
think that's fine. Look, okay, here's one of the things about crypto people that I think is ridiculous is everyone's paranoid. They're like, where'd you put your private key? You got to roll it up in a cigarette and put it in your ass, and then you have to go swimming in the Atlantic Ocean, and then you have to put it in a whale's nose. It's like, dude, when you have a debit card sitting on your table, it has your numbers. Your PIN is 4 digits, and no one treats their debit card like this.
Mhm.
Right now, I mean, I have my debit card just hanging out. Anyone can just open it, take a picture, and then figure out my 4-digit code. Wow, really long.
Wait,
And then just
wait,
go.
let me see it.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm more reluctant to show it because I don't want my legal name to be shown. But like all of us accept that. All of us accept the risk of having a debit card in our wallet, and the primary security being 4 numbers, right?
Yep.
Anyone can just walk outside, go to the ATM, boom, take out $1,000, $500, whatever the limit is, and run away,
Mhm.
right? But someone has a crypto wallet with $1,000 and they treat it like it's millions. It's like, oh, where'd you put your private key? It's like, well, I put it in a text file and I put it in a zip file and I emailed it to myself. Oh, that's not secure. What if Google
Yeah.
melts down and then the Google servers get hacked?
Those
It's
are
like,
cypherpunks, bro.
what are you talking about, dude?
Cypherpunks. That's the majority of fucking Bitcoin and crypto Twitter. Is a bunch of nerds that think that shit's.
It's okay to put your private key on Google Drive.
Yeah.
All right, I said it. Sorry. Like,
How do we?
no, I mean,
how do we
if you got
ban
$1,000,
you?
it's like you don't need to treat it like you're the president of the United States.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so embrace the term Bcash. So I was actually, I don't know, you probably didn't see it, but I was arguing with somebody in BCH gang today. I know what you mean by this. Embrace the term Bcash. You don't say, hey, let's like say to like, hey, I'm introducing you to cryptocurrency. Here's Bcash. You're gonna say Bitcoin Cash. But if somebody says Bcash to you, you're not gonna like freak out about it, right?
That's correct. I'm
Yeah.
not saying say it or use it.
Yeah.
I don't want to use it because it's stupid. I don't know.
It's just like,
But-
cause like if I'm talking to you and I say, yeah, then the other day I just like spent some Bcash and yada yada, and then you're just like, what? You called it Bcash? You're like, you look fucking crazy.
That's correct.
And then you go into the whole argument. Well, in the beginning, a bunch of cordials started a subreddit called
Embrace it
r/Bcash.
because here's the deal:
to
is
take the
when I
Bitcoin.
was on Reddit and I would read people say and they'd say Bcash, I knew that they were talking about Bitcoin Cash. I didn't even know that it was bad.
Yeah.
I and then there's a guy that I onboarded here. He runs a restaurant called the New Yorker, and I remember watching him train his staff. He called it Bitcash like 3 times,
Mhm.
and that's with no influence,
Right.
none. He didn't read Reddit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's very natural. So I feel like, from someone who didn't even know the history, when I saw that Bitcoin or that Bcash was a bad word, or that it was so, I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what? Why? And then you're like, oh, okay, because some guys
They wanted
in
to
the
take the
beginning,
Bitcoin out of Bitcoin Cash.
yeah, I guess so. But I feel like all the conversation, like I feel like all these conversations need to be couched around the idea of getting new people excited about it,
Yep.
right? It's kind of like this. I always go back to my poker game. So in poker, there's lots of debates, right? For example, in poker, there's there's a thing called angle shooting. Angle shooting is where you basically trick your opponent into revealing information using like really unethical methods. So, for example, an angle shoot might be someone picks up their chips like they're gonna bet, and they put them over, and then they don't bet. So what they'll do is they'll take a bunch of chips and they'll pretend like they're about to go put them on the table for a bet, and they'll watch to see if you like
React.
you get excited, or they say something, or they might even just pretend they folded and they didn't fold. And so what you're doing is you're tricking your opponent into thinking that you took an action.
Mm-hmm.
And then they might react, and then there's a huge debate about whether this should be allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when someone comes down and sits down and says, how do I play poker? I don't talk about that.
Right.
Right? I don't talk about, hey, do you want to hear a 30-minute thing about this debate that's like in the deep crevices of the poker world?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares, dude. They'll learn about that on their own down the road. But that is scary. That is thinking. And you want to take thinking and scariness out of it when you're thinking of getting new people excited about it, right?
It's simple,
So,
man. It's simple.
I mean, that's
Just
really what I think. 'Cause
download
to
a
me,
wallet. I'll send you some.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yep.
I do that every time. Every day, all day. When I meet people, I like to show them Bitcoin. I give them $1. I've probably given like $100 out at this point.
Nice.
Of like Bitcoin Cash or BTC or whatever. And it's fun. It's like, check this out. Because most people, they're like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, how do I go? Do I have to go to the Bitcoin store?
Where do I put the email? You don't need a fucking email. Like.
Yeah, and then you show them like, and I love that moment where you're like, dude, download it, boom, boom, and then I go, I'll send them money, and then they'll get it, and I'll say, okay, do you have a bank? Did we need a bank for that? And they're like, no. I'm like, did you need ID? And they're like, whoa. I was like, also, I could have sent you $1 million,
right,
if I had it, and
right.
No one would fucking know.
Nope.
And there was no and then you see him like think like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. Like,
yeah. Like,
wow.
Oh, I'll have to think on this. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, that's how you get. That's exciting. It's not exciting to sit down and drink beers and talk about block size.
That's
with
what
some
you're
guy. It's not. It's
No,
not.
no.
It's not, man. Look. Also,
here's what I'm doing. So I'm still in the process of making a feature-length documentary about the block size debate and how Bitcoin Cash came to be. And so I've interviewed a ton of people about it, like basically everybody you could want to interview on the Bitcoin Cash side. I think I'm kind of have a reputation. Hey, thanks for the spice, Kyle. I haven't really interviewed too many people from the core side of things, but I need to, but I need to kind of tread lightly because I'm a personality, I guess. But yeah, I'm kind of. Well, no, seriously, like it's like that.
No, I'm not laughing at your personality comment. I'm like, why would they be scared? It's like,
because like they would probably be scared of me like cropping their words to making them say something stupid. But I think what they say is stupid anyway. So, but yes, it's like I want this like basically like a feature. Have you seen the documentary Banking on Bitcoin? Have you seen that one?
Probably.
It's on Netflix. It's like the most popular one. So it's from like 2014 or something. But basically, it's like it's happy, upbeat. You see some people that like really need it in third world, and then you see like people using it, like I did in Australia. And so I'm gonna like basically make that a feature documentary and kind of have it as a resource to push new people that are interested to like, hey, if you want to learn about some of the details, like it's not gonna go super in the details, but like. If you want to learn about how Bitcoin Cash came to be and go check this out. And so that's what I'm working on. So I'm hoping like that can be like the end all be all of that, and I can finally like move on from that. But I'm still like just waiting on some extra funding. But
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
So
Well, let me tell you my plan.
Yeah.
For this, because I have a new program out now. When I thought about, I was like, this is really cool. I want to talk about something on my channel, but I don't want it to be like, I don't want it to be really cringe. Like I want people to need it. And I'm thinking about it, and I thought it's been a year since I made a new program, and I thought, I'm going to make a program, but I'm going to make it really good, and I'm going to make it where if they pay with Bitcoin, it's a huge discount. And then what I'm going to do, this is my plan.
Mhm.
I'm going to launch the digital pickup. It's going to be so crazy and good and awesome. And then I'm going to post. The goal ideally would be 30 videos in 30 days. The digital pickup is only going to be for sale for 4 weeks. Okay? So the first videos are going to be how to buy Bitcoin, why you should, what you can use it for. I'm going to talk about Purse.io, 30%. I'm going to talk about Travela. You can get $50 on your first $100. And I'm going to say, I'm going to couch it as this. If you use this, it will help you. A good example is I could say, on Purse.io, you can get up to 25-30% off. Anything on Amazon, I go, so even if you bought Bitcoin just to play with it, let's say you had plans to buy a new laptop that's like $2,000 laptop. Well, imagine getting like $500 off your laptop. The only downside is you could wait. And
yeah,
then
that's kind of
the
what I
money that
did. It took a while though.
Yeah, and then the money that you saved, you could do this. And I want to couch it like Bitcoin is something that you can use even if you don't want to be interested, even if you're not interested in it,
Mhm.
right? And
Right.
so
But
I want to have a couple
it's
videos
money.
like
it's
the
just
10
money,
things
right?
10 things you can do Bitcoin. I want to do that video.
Yeah.
I want to have a story about how I got banned from PayPal.
Are you gonna have boobs in all the thumbnails?
I don't think so. I might I'm running out of boobs, man. I mean, my boobs are getting kind of big, so
You could do that. Just
what else? And so then I'm gonna have a bunch of videos promoting the digital pickup, but it's also like I want to have like a first few days about all Bitcoin stuff, and then I'm gonna be like digital pickup, and then I'm gonna explain why you have to use Bitcoin, and I'm gonna set up the narrative like the big banks and legacy financial systems don't want you to see what I'm selling. They don't want you to see this. I want it to be like,
Mhm.
that's like my vault, for example. The big premise behind my vault is when I get videos deleted for violating community guidelines, instead of just accepting that, I'll just put them in the vault. So what makes the vault sexy is, yo guys, if you're ever wondering why a video just goes missing, it's usually because YouTube won't let me show you. If you want to see what they don't want you to see, it's like that kind of marketing. And I want to couch it like the program that I'm selling is so crazy that if I were to even think of selling it using PayPal or Stripe, I would instantly get banned. So this is the tool that we're going to use together. Like I already have all these plans in my head.
That's great.
But I'm not going to tell them that. The point is I create something of value, and then I put a wall between that thing and them, and the only way they can get through is if they have to go into Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because that's how I got into it. When I wanted to get Gab Pro, Gab's kind of weird, but I wanted to support them. I love supporting people and things that are doing stuff that I like. I always give donations to, like little creators and shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Gab was struggling. They're getting banned from everything. I'm like, you know what? These guys, they got the free speech stuff. That's kind of cool. I'm going to sign up for their Gab Pro. I want the little blue check mark. So I didn't want to use Bitcoin, but that was the only way. So I was like, okay, let's learn about this. So what pushed me over the fence was there was something I wanted that I couldn't get unless I got into Bitcoin, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do with the digital pickup.
Nice.
And I'm gonna onboard fucking hundreds of people.
No,
I already have. I already sold almost like $2,500 worth of the program early access, and you won't believe how many fucking people, like some like young black kid from like Alabama who's like, hey, I got Cash App, I bought it. I'm like, what? You can buy Bitcoin on Cash App? He's sending me screenshots. He's like, how do I send it? It's like, that's so crazy. You know, like he got interested in this because of something I created. And here's the thing is when I'm long gone, he's now gonna know how to do it and how to use it.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know.
No,
Yeah, so that's
it's fucking awesome. It's probably more people than I'll ever on board, so I applaud you for that. So,
let me applaud myself.
so changing subject a little bit. You interviewed Roger Veer.
Yes.
So it was a very unique interview because you kind of went into his like backstory. You asked him a bunch of questions about like who he is, his story, and stuff like that I've never even heard of. So it was really cool to watch. Do you have any thoughts about Roger, about that interview?
You know, I feel like I interrupted him maybe a little too much. That's because I was really excited. There was the other I should have gone. I wanted to go more personal. I wanted to go more funny. You know.
Sure.
I had a lot of really funny questions, but I also wanted to respect his status and his time. So it was like, but I got into Roger Ver by watching the oldest debates back in the day, and there was videos of him just like busting in places and just like walking up to people, hey, just like camera. It's like, yes, yeah. It's so awesome. There was this video where it's like it was some block stream like Korean guy that like went to a Bitcoin Cash meetup, and he decided just to talk to him, and they had this like really nice like 45-minute argument.
Yeah. And
I just admire people who just jump in front of that's why I actually like Richard Hart. I think his Hex project is really I don't get it. I think a lot of what he says about crypto is super dumb. Oh, it's going to go up in value by sitting on it forever. Yeah, okay.
Have you seen, like speaking of Hex real quick, it's like below 1 Satoshi. It's like sub Satoshi. Like it's worth literally nothing.
I heard about that. To be fair, it's new. I mean, you know, I'm not a big the price equals the price equals everything.
Well, of course not. You're in Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah. And but I like that he's like, I love when he's like, come on, bring your heroes, bring your Bitcoin gods to come and die. I love that. It's the confidence and like just the willingness, and like everyone's calling me a scammer. I have an idea. Let me go on their show. It's like, the balls. It's so sexy. And Roger has a lot of that. And also, I started looking in the history of the guy, and there's all these things that I have in common with him that have nothing to do with Bitcoin, like, you know, his political and philosophical views, and like he's into like Asian chicks, and like he's
Are you into K-pop too?
Not really.
Uh-huh.
He was into drones. There's videos of him flying drones, and like just like little stories, and it's just funny.
Oh,
and
man. I had a Phantom too. That was a shit show. But anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's cool, and when I message him on, also another cool thing is, I don't know if you know this, but he gave Nikki 1 Bitcoin Cash.
I was gonna ask you about that. Nikki, that girl, right? Is that your? Yeah. Okay. I literally just put that together when you said it. That's funny. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, how did he do it?
So,
how did he do it? Like,
because when he said he's not going to come to Bangkok, I sent a video of Nikki saying, "Oh, I'm so sad because I wanted to steal Roger's Bitcoin." And she's like, "Roger, come to Bangkok so I can take all your Bitcoin." And she's like, "Are you single?" And like joking around and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "All right, what's the QR code?" And then he just sends her 1 BCH, which was like at the time 225.
Yeah.
And then we had that little 15% bump, and it went up to like 250. And
yeah.
Nikki's like watching it. She's like, "Why is it going up? I don't understand."
Yeah, that's always funny.
So
nice.
It was great, really generous, really nice. And honestly, when I go to Tokyo, I'll go to a meetup. I don't care. I want to be friends with everybody. The thing is, the only communities that seem really alive is the Bitcoin Cash community and, you know, the BTC community, but the BTC community is really big and very, it's like too big to be a community, I think.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's. I mean, you have like the influencers or whatever that kind of like usually run the show, and then you just have everybody that kind of just like trickles in, right? And Bitcoin Cash, like a lot of times you like if you're in Bitcoin Cash, you kind of know almost everybody that will like show up. I mean, obviously there's stragglers, but you'll know a lot
Yeah,
of
but
people.
you know,
there,
there's
but
no like Litecoin meetups in Bangkok, and
Nah,
so
Litecoin's
for
big.
me it's yeah, for me it's like I would go to that. I don't mind.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's really, there's no politics in my brain. It's just like I'm interested in this whole thing.
Yeah, the whole
So
movement, right?
whoever wants to be friends, why not? Same thing with poker. I played No Limit Texas Hold'em, but there was the tables that played Omaha and Limit, and I still made friends with the people who were on those tables over there because we talked about poker hands and stuff while at drinking. I used to play 6 days a week
Mhm.
for like 2.5 years, and so there's a lot of parallels with like these communities. Like,
Yeah, it's like every community, really. Like no matter which niche you're in, right? It's people that do it for their career and know everything about everything, and there's always nuance to everything. But it's at the end of the day, it's like nobody really gives nobody really gives a shit. Just
well,
does whatever works
this is what I
for them, right?
this is if I could sum up my like view of Bitcoin Cash, I feel like Bitcoin Cash needs to be it needs to be okay with BTC, not be triggered by Bcash, talk more about why Bitcoin Cash is good,
Mhm.
and talk almost nothing about why other things that are not Bitcoin Cash is bad. And I feel like it should be like it should be like a restaurant, right? You don't go to a restaurant and the first thing the restaurant talks about is why the restaurant across the street has bad food. They just tell you about their food. They go, "Oh, we have a special. It's great." They don't go, "By the way, did you know the oil he uses?" It's like, I'm not over there. I'm right here. Why are you talking about? You know, it should be treated like that.
Right.
Like the Bitcoin Cash Register app, I think they should have BTC support. I think they should. Now here's why. Because what people are going to learn by accepting BTC on the Cash Register app, you're likely to increase the number of users using it, right?
Mhm.
Which also means that there's more users who are going to respect the Bitcoin.com brand as a tool, as someone who makes things,
Mhm.
right? You're going to go, wow, this app is fast, it works, it's great, and you have more users. Well, maybe when the fees go real high, you can incorporate a patch that puts a little like red warning message over the BTC saying, the Bitcoin network is currently congested, fees may rise. To avoid this, we suggest Bitcoin Cash, right? Something really simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that way,
you know, I
it's
get what you're saying, but from like I mean, it's kind of getting in the weeds a little bit, but like from a technical point of view, BTC and BCH are going to continue to get further and further apart with their technicals. So it's like what a matter of what you want to support. Like, I don't know if you saw the video of Hayden double spending BTC.
I did.
Yeah, so like you have to look for things like that, like a replaced by fee flag, and look for the RBF on the parent transaction and shit like that. And so I get what you're saying, and it does make sense, but it's almost like it's kind of like this weird technical thing that the code bases are starting to diverge so much. It's that like, are people actually going to use the Bitcoin Cash Register app for Bitcoin Core, right? I know nobody calls it Bitcoin Core, but you know what I mean.
Even if they don't, it's easier to onboard someone, right? Yeah. So it's like this. It's like, let me think of an analogy here.
Poker, man.
No, I'm thinking of if most people know about Bitcoin and most people use Bitcoin, then you're going to get more users using the app, and the more users that use the app, the better it is for Bitcoin Cash, because
sure,
like Bitcoin, the Bitcoin.com wallet was my first wallet, and that's just because I just typed Bitcoin and it was like basically the first one, and I liked the wallet. It was nice, and I every day I open it and I see Bitcoin Cash, and so I don't know anything about Bitcoin Cash, but the fact that I see it all the time gives a little bit of validity,
Yeah, sure.
right? It wasn't some random. It wasn't like LOL coin or chicken token. It was like Bitcoin Cash, and so I just assumed that it was a respectable alternative just by seeing it. And I didn't even use the Bitcoin wallet for BCH at the beginning. I just used it for regular BTC.
Yeah.
So if that wallet didn't support BCH, I probably would have never even thought about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what's a better world where an app supports BTC that might have a bad experience or have issues, but you have 3 times the users, which means 3 times people will see BCH, or BCH which will only people will only use who already know about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because the goal should be new people, not people who know already.
Right.
It's like, again, the poker game, you want to focus on the chips and the beer and the lighting. That is what you focus on. You don't focus on the game, because once they sit down, they're in the game. You don't have to worry about them anymore. Now you can just get more people in. And so I don't know if I'm making sense. I just feel like
So here's a tool that I think.
I don't know what I'm saying.
No, you're good. Here's a tool that I think will help out. So Vin, when I was talking to him, he is developing this. He's developing a merchant point of sale where if you refer the merchant, so like say you go in and onboard a bar, you get a percentage of their sales forever. So like it's a way to encourage adoption. So like shit like that is awesome, right? And
yeah, that is good. That is a tool. There's incentives.
Right, exactly.
Like that's an example. That is what people. This is what people should be pushing, not arguing.
Yes.
Because I can get people who don't care about Bitcoin excited about that. Dude, bro, I got this app, and if you teach them how to onboard this thing called Bitcoin, I don't know what the fuck it is, but dude, you get a percentage of their sales forever. I could go home and talk to all my friends who don't know anything about this, and they're gonna go, all right, show me, bro, I want to see.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, check this out. See that shop over there?
Get them.
I onboarded them, and this happened and this happened, and I could show. I mean, when you show people the money, people get excited. And so if you had an app like Bitcoin Cash Register and the commission was only in BCH, that's an example of you give people the option, you give them options, you get them in the door, but then you just create the incentive structure to it. Okay, here's an example. I have this tactic when it comes to sending girls selfies of me with my friends. So one of the things about
selfies.
So, well, I'll explain. So one of the things about one of the things that me and my friends do is we always take selfies together, all 3 of us, because we want to send photos of me and my friends to all the girls that we're dating. That way, sometimes they'll go, "Oh, your friend in the middle, my friend wants to meet him," right? So just by taking a selfie together, we can multiply the number of dates we get, because each one of us is now advertising each other to all the girls, right? But to make each one of us look more attractive than the other guy, whenever we take a selfie, whoever the guy that we're trying to make look good is, we'll have him be taller than the other ones. So we'll all take a selfie together, but we'll have 2 guys go really low, and then the one guy look real tall, and then we'll switch. Okay, the guy in the middle, now you look tall, and we'll get low. So we have 3 versions of the same selfie. Right? Because so whichever guy we want to look good, we'll pick the selfie that has the hot guy as tall, or as the guy's tall. Am I making sense?
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
So each photo is the same. It's 3 guys, but they're different by a small degree, and that's designed to make the other guys look more attractive.
Yeah.
So, right? So the same principle I feel like you could use with apps and Bitcoin Cash and all that.
I mean,
you have big.
Yeah, that's kind of what Bitcoin.com wallet does. It like automatically puts the BTC fee up even when it doesn't need to be, but it does need to be sometimes. But like that's similar, for sure.
Yeah. So you if I had a photo of just myself, I'm gonna here I am. But now if I'm next to someone who's uglier than me, I all of a sudden look better.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, of course. Yeah.
So in the same way, including BTC is better for you. Because then the opportunity for that person to actually see the contrast and open their mind, like it happened to me. I had a dusty ass wallet. I'm trying to send $1,000, and I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm at 12. I'm like, I keep thinking like, how can I avoid this? And then I discovered later that the Bitcoin.com wallet had a 20 Satoshi per byte minimum, and there's other wallets that do a better job. Blah blah blah. I learned that later, but in that moment, I was like, I remember thinking, dude, if the price goes up, what if it doubles? Does that mean my fee will go to $25?
Yep.
And I started thinking, dude, I need to get my money out of this shit. So as soon as it got low, eventually got down to $6, and I shot it out. I shot it to a different wallet, and then I swapped some of it for Bitcoin Cash because I wanted to.
You just got a title in chat, Dr. David Bond, PhD in Poonology.
Poonology. The selfie trick's really good though.
That is a good one. Yep. I don't know
You make yourself look attractive by doing nothing but standing next to somebody, and you just artificially adjust the heights just to like make you look the best.
Right. Makes sense. So yeah, we're a little bit over an hour here, so probably gonna wrap it up a little bit. Do we have any questions for Mr. David about onboarding girlfriends or merchants?
So will I be reading them in the chat, YouTube chat?
Yeah. Somebody said, "How do you sort the photos of the girlfriends?" I don't really follow what that they're trying to get at there.
How do you sort? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, me neither.
Hide your daughters.
So
what made you interested in this? I haven't.
Oh
asked you
yeah.
much.
So this is what I'm at. So yeah, about the fee. So I think I originally got some Bitcoin for a certain website in like 2013. And then I have a tweet from around that time too. Like that was obviously when it was going up a lot. Like of me buying some piece of camera equipment, some tweets. So I have proof on the Twitter chain that I spent Bitcoin. But yeah, and then I didn't really like. I mean, I was like kind of following it. I was subscribed to Art Bitcoin. I saw the whole censorship shit happen. I didn't really like take notice until like 2016 when I like was sending Bitcoin and it was $1 for a fee. And I was like, I've used it for years, and like all of a sudden it's like so high, and I didn't understand why. Started digging in and saw the shit happening, and then basically day one of Bitcoin Cash, day two I like swapped all my BTC for BCH, and I've been in Bitcoin Cash since. So,
so what pushed you over the edge was the fees.
Yeah, yep. I mean that's why I started looking into it all, right?
So then, this is what I'm saying is so including BTC and all the apps for BCH is actually helping in my brain. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean that was right. No, I get what you're saying. That was obviously I guess you could allude it to small block versus big block if you want to. So yeah, I guess it does. But I was always just expected Bitcoin to be just like cheap. So that's so that I mean I just had experience with it.
And so what do you what do you use it for? What problem does it solve for you?
I just know that if any of my shit gets locked up, I can always have it. And I have done some traveling for my Bitcoin documentary. I've shot like 3 weeks total of it so far. I need to do like another month. But I would just pay my guys in Bitcoin.
You're
like
back to the control. You have like complete control.
Yeah, complete control over it. I'd never have to worry about it locking up, taking a day to clear, all that type of shit. Like I had to pay some guy in Japan. One of my Audi guys is like, he's an older guy, just like refused to get paid in Bitcoin. Like, okay, I understand, but like, please, because I have to send him a wire and it's $60 extra to send a wire.
Oof.
Like just
Brutal.
So ridiculous. It's like over 10% of what I like paid him. So, and then another camera guy was like, yeah, I'll just take the Bitcoin. I was like, sweet, perfect, thanks. And so,
that's great.
So yeah, I mean, I just have it. I believe in it. I think it can just help. Especially in the third world, I think can help the people that don't have banks.
I mean, the complete control. I mean, you hear these stories about Cyprus in 2013 and the banks taking 50% of all the money of all the people who had more than 100K.
Mm-hmm.
And the people are like, what? What's happening? And they're like, oh, it's a crisis. We have to take all your money.
Yeah.
or like India changing the color of their bills. And do you know about this?
No, I have the color thing now.
There's like a dozen stories of governments completely abusing the control of the money. For example, in India, not even that long ago, like 3 years ago, they wanted to flush out all the black money, all the illegal cash. So what they did was they just said, hey, we're changing the color of the 1,000 rupee bill or whatever the big one was.
Mm-hmm.
And in the next 30 days, if you have 1,000 rupees and it's not the right color, it's worthless. And all the banks are not going to accept it. And it's worthless now. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And so all these people who had all this money, they had to go to the bank to exchange it. Now the bank said, do you have a bank account? They're like, no. All right, you have to make one if you want your money. So it was a way to force people to start using banks.
Huh.
Because in India it's so cash based
Right,
that
they don't want the cash.
they have no way to collect the taxes because everyone's just doing cash.
Right.
And so to solve this, what they basically said, in the next 30 days, the money in your hands is not going to be money anymore. You have to go to the bank to exchange it for real money.
That's crazy. I haven't heard that one.
Oh yeah, just type in India color change money.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all these examples of governments abusing the control of the money supply and abusing the fact that, I know that in a lot of countries, making a purchase of any item with more than $10,000 in cash is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
You can't buy things with money. You have to register the purchase. Like there's an amount of money that if it goes up beyond that, if you don't register it, it's considered like illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's your money.
Yeah.
And there's all these.
Yeah, you see all this shit happening like all over the world, and it's like that could happen to you, like no matter where you are. So it's like, why wouldn't you?
Well, in America, whenever the gold standard stopped, they made it illegal to own gold. Did you know that?
Wait, for how long?
Well, I might be getting the facts fuzzy, but it was around when the gold standard was, when they were going off of it, they made the possession or selling of gold illegal. I'm sure I could look it up. I'm sure you could look it up too. Just type in gold illegal America. And there was a time, there was a short time that something to do with gold was illegal. And all of a sudden, all these gold people were like, what?
Oh, yeah. It was for, Jesus, from 1933 to 74, unless you had a special license.
Exactly, right?
Shit.
So imagine for thousands of years, gold is money. And then all of a sudden, some guy in an office called the White House says, no.
Yeah.
It's like, so I mean that kind of stuff happened in the U.S. too, and the way things are going, bro. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there's stories of Chase suspending bank accounts of political activists, like right-wing people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's talk of Google opening bank accounts. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did hear that Google one. Yeah.
The Google bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay. So
I mean, they already have all your other data. Might as well have your money too.
So how's that gonna work? Can I have my bank account frozen for hate speech? Hold on.
Probably. They know everything about you, so why not?
My phone's ringing. I don't know why the phone's ringing because this is not.
You're good.
But yeah, so I mean,
I have a question for you. Do your girlfriends care about the other girlfriends?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
it just doesn't come up.
I have a really it's really difficult to explain my relationship.
Yeah, no,
people,
don't you don't need to.
It's basically this. I just do whatever I want, and then girls get mad, and then I just say I'm sorry, and then I just keep it. I'm serious. It's basically.
All right.
I mean, I dated a girl for 7 years in the U.S. And basically a part of our relationship was her getting mad at me because I had YouTube videos, and I just said I'm sorry, and then we just got back together, and it just was like, you gotta understand, like, I'm like candy. I'm not good for them, but I'm taste good, and it's fun, you know. It's like I could meet up with Bobby, who has a buttoned-up shirt, and he wants to take me for a coffee, or I could go with David Bond, and we could go to Bali, and he could fuck me on the beach and cheat on me a lot. So it's like, what mood am I in today? It's basically like that. But in all seriousness, I mean, you know, I don't really have a lot of girlfriends. Really, it's just, you know, in my videos it might look like that, but most of my time is just spent playing Call of Duty and arguing with people on the internet. It's not really that exciting.
That's right. That sounds like a lot of what I do too. So, let's see what else we got in chat. Yeah, you have any more questions for me while we're here?
Let me think here. Yeah, where are you?
I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
And are there any meetups?
We actually just started a Bitcoin Cash meetup a couple months ago. I don't think we had one this month yet. We need to.
Yeah, because I'm really impressed with Bangkok having these meetups, and it makes me want to have some meetups. I want to have some meetups.
Yeah, no, the meetups are super fun.
In California and stuff.
Yeah,
I know there's a Bitcoin meetup in San Francisco, like a big one, like a giant conference.
Mm-hmm.
It's and they actually sell tickets in BTC, which is pretty funny.
Oh, about time.
If you want to pay with Visa, it's like $50 more.
Do you know what that one's called? Because there's been a bunch of Bitcoin conferences where they don't actually like accept Bitcoin for their tickets.
Yeah, here, let me look it up. Bitcoin.
Google. How do you Google a Google bank account?
I don't use Google. I use DuckDuckGo. I'm cool.
Oh, gosh, you are a cypherpunk. You're a closet cypherpunk.
I'm on all the alt tech. I don't use. Oh yeah, it's just called Bitcoin 2020 conference. San Francisco. Yeah, 2020. Here we go. That looks cool. I think I might go to this. I don't know what I'll do or why I'll go, but maybe I'll get some cool shirts or something. Hit on some girls or something.
Just don't tell them you have Bcash.
I'm gonna tell them. I don't give a shit.
No, please do.
I'm gonna talk about also. That's another thing. I don't get it. People act like the girl who runs Bitcoin Cash meetups in Bangkok. I was like, you should come to the meetup. She's like, I don't think people will be nice to me. It's like, what? Why? That shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't be afraid of that. It's such a weird. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like I have maximalist friends, I guess you could call them, in Atlanta in person. I've kind of converted them a little bit though. Now they're just not hostile anymore. I mean, it was, as far as like hostility goes, it's just like rehashing the internet arguments in person, basically. Right?
Yeah.
And so it can get hostile just because you're just like, all right, here we go. I mean, especially at this point, I know the whole fucking dance. Like I know what he's gonna say. I know what I'm gonna say next, and I know the whole freaking dance as it goes. So, I mean, it's gotten better for sure in person for me. Like, I'm not like scared to go anywhere, but I would be like, I know I'm not that like famous or popular, but like, if you were like Roger, for example, and you show up at like a Bitcoin
I invited
meetup.
him to the Monday meetup, and he said he was going to go, and I told people that he might, and people are so excited. There's a lot of people who are like, I can't wait to argue with him and tell me he's a bad man. I'm like,
yeah,
why?
yeah,
it's stupid. I get it.
Yep.
People are just so cringe. It's like
they gotta record it and then post it to Twitter to get some more likes and follows. So.
I don't think a lot of people are on Twitter there. Everyone that anyway. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't want to keep blabbing because I don't know how long your show is or whatever. But
yeah, we've been going for a while. It's all right though. Yeah, I mean, you had that last question for me. Any last questions in the chat? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up here. I think we covered a lot of topics. Covered everything I wanted to cover for sure. It's definitely great to get the cool guy perspective, right? I mean, I have all the very smart people that know all the in the weeds stuff, which is interesting, of course, especially like as I'm in the space and I try to learn all this type of stuff because, I mean, I just am on freaking Telegram and Twitter all day, so it's good to see the actual developments happening and see why at a technical scale Bitcoin Cash is freaking awesome. But yeah, it's always good to like take a step back. It's super hard for me still even to take a step back because all my people I talk to online are in the weeds with me. So it's like, how do you take that step back and evaluate what you're doing? And
well, to close out, this is my personal advice. To people, because like you're on Twitter. I'm not really on Twitter, by the way. I don't really post there. I comment there and I look at it, but I don't post. I add a principle or whatever. But I feel like if you're interested in a project, like if you're interested in Bitcoin Cash and you think it's great, I feel like you should completely stop arguing with people on Twitter. Completely. Like if someone posted a photo of you and said bad things, just don't even look at it. You should focus strictly on creating things of value, education, and making the world a better place.
Sure.
Because that will touch people who don't know anything about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to touch anybody by arguing with that. It's the same thing if you're a brand new restaurant and you spent all your days going across the street and arguing with the owner of the other restaurant.
So I will counter you a little bit here. So do you think there's any value? Obviously, like when you argue with somebody on Twitter, you're not like trying to usually convince them because they're dead set. Do you think it's valuable for like the onlookers that could be on the fence, or do you think though that number is so small that it's not worth it?
I think so. Yeah, maybe on a podcast, maybe on a show where people could watch.
Sure.
But getting in random arguments on Twitter, I mean, really, like, what did your 2-hour investment in 2018 with that one random guy you forgot about? How is that touching people today?
Oh no, those deep, yeah,
yeah, exactly.
The deep.
So you're literally just, it's like you're just spreading poop around, and it just dries up, and everyone forgets about your shitty spreading poop. It does nothing. You want to plant a flower that grows, that people can look at and go, that's pretty. But no one cares about the shit in the corner from 2017.
But shit is fertilizer.
It's just like, oh wow, look, wow. Maybe the shit might make a flower grow, but maybe you should plant a flower instead of spreading shit everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
True, yeah.
So make your documentary.
Just like a dab of shit.
This podcast is cool. There might be some guy that watches this and he's like, oh, that's interesting. You know, make an app, sell a product, create something, affiliate links, teach people stuff. You know, there was a guy I was in the Philippines, and there was a restaurant owner. I met the guy, and I said, dude, your restaurant's cool. We started talking, and I go, why don't you accept Visa, by the way? Because it's really annoying to pay with cash. He's like, oh, it's so hard to get a Visa in the Philippines. I've been waiting 3 months. I go, really? He goes, yeah, to get one of those little slider machines. It takes so long, all the regulations. And then he started telling me a story about how his business partner in America wanted to wire him $2,000, and it took like 45 days and all these phone calls. And then right then and there, I said, have you ever thought about using Bitcoin? And he goes, what do you mean? I go, you could have just sent, your friend could have just, if he had the money in Bitcoin, he could have just sent you the money in Bitcoin and you would have got it in 10 minutes, and then it would be on your phone, and then you could potentially sign up for a Philippines exchange and just cash out, and it would have taken a day, not 4. And in that moment, I'm solving a problem that he has that's real.
Yep.
That is value, giving value, not arguing on Twitter.
Yeah, of course.
Now, you can argue on Twitter. It's fun. But I'm just thinking, like, when you think you have a limited amount of hours in the day, right? And you ask yourself, on average, is this hour making the world better or worse? Well, is it making it better or not making it better? And if you spent hours on your documentary that you actually spent arguing with some guy with a cat and a helmet arguing about, it's like whatever that guy is, the cat helmet guy.
Hold on, bro. Come on.
Twitter guy. I don't fucking know. I just see the same goddamn icons. And they say the same shit over and over.
Yeah, with the toxic and
it's
the.
Like, I follow it. I don't even know why I followed it, to be honest. I follow it because I just follow randomly. But yeah, create stuff, do stuff, make stuff. Like, boom. Like that's how you arguing. It's gay, dude. I mean, arguing with freaking people. It's fun. It's therapeutic, but it's just like.
Make you go insane.
It's just, it literally is not. It's. You got to get people in the poker game, man. You got to focus on the chips.
Get people in the poker game.
Focusing on stupid ass stuff. So that's like my closing.
Perfect. Arguing is gay. That's your closing.
Kind of is a little bit. Kind of is.
Don't be gay.
But, and that's all you do.
Gay is
How's
okay.
That?
Gay is okay. Just do it over there. Anyways, thank you so much, David. We'll wrap it up there.
Awesome.
Hey, Mike in the chat. We were just wrapping it up. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. Everybody go check out his YouTube if you want to look at some R-rated boobies, not quite X. That might be in his vault, but yeah. David Bond, hopefully you keep seeing him around, or hopefully not. Hopefully he's outside the bubble a little bit, I suppose. So, but anyways,
No, I'll be here.
Ah.
I'll be causing trouble.
Perfect. Keep onboarding them
wait.
merchants.
I'm gonna have a video go viral or something, and it's gonna have to do with Bitcoin, and I'll be talked about, just like my sticker on the girl thing.
Excellent.
Just wait.
Excellent.
Something's gonna happen. I can feel it.
Cool.
All right, man.
Awesome. Thanks, David.
Pleasure chatting.